Hello, my name is Sofy Yuditskaya. I'm an artist and an educator. I also make music. So my definition of carbon comes firstly from my experience, my youthful experience, where carbon was like the very first thing that we learned how to draw with. And for me, it's always been a stick that makes black marks. So I have one here. It's like a round stick. But then these days I associate it also with wood and burnt kind of, biomatter. So I have some of those too. It's a piece of wood. You can see its shape still. And you can see the ash on it, which is gray. And then the carbon is black. So the carbon is the part that's like very deep pigment. And it also happens to carry electricity. So carbon is a semiconductor, which means that it both stops and like pushes electricity or allows electricity to move. But I also think of it as this kind of like unifying substrate that's in everything. Because all life on this planet is based on carbon. I think we haven't found any other kind yet. So that kind of like is this very unifying thing about it, that even though we use it to write, like to get our thoughts out of our head or images out of our head, or to create energy, whether it's in the form of heat for cooking or other kinds of energy, like passing electrical information around. I use carbon in a few different ways. I have a very basic example here. It's just a drawing of a flower or a sun or something. A painting, I guess, is more accurate. And the carbon is just the black background. So in a very basic way, carbon is just pigment, which I find really cool. It's a great way to get really nice blacks. A lot of the blacks that we use in oil paint are actually made on a green or a blue base. And so they devolve or like dissolve into green and blue. They're not true black, but carbon gives you a true black. That's just clean black. So that's really cool. But then I also make art with technology and electronics and things like that. And it's also inside of the components. If I'm not painting, if I'm doing like a physical computing project, the carbon is there. Even if I'm not handling it directly, it's in all the little pieces that make up my Arduino project or whatever. So it's really a very useful kind of mechanical thing, and also like a very experiential pigment. Carbon is very simple. It's the charcoal from our cooking fires, but it's also an element. It's something that's made out of biomatter. It's something that can be compressed into a diamond, which is also used in computing in different ways. And I like to make art that kind of points to all of that. Because I feel like thinking about our impacts on the environment and our interrelationship socially is really important. Everything that we experience on this earth is part of nature, or it's building on nature. So with that in mind, we can think about configurations that are more harmonious with the other configurations that are already here and the ones that we need to be happy and live well. But without the moralism, maybe, of nature versus humans and technology versus the spirit and all these kinds of things. They wouldn't all be here in one place if they weren't already connected.